holiday misery, haulage delays and a blame game between France and the UK. Queues have continued for a second day at the port of Dover, Britain's main gateway to Europe. The backlog comes at the start of the summer holiday season and has prompted authorities to declare a major incident. Britain says France didn't prepare enough staff. But France says the problems are caused by additional checks due to Brexit. The nearby Eurotunnel is also affected, with queues stretching back 3 kilometres from the terminal. Let's talk to Paul Charles, who's the Chief Executive of travel consultancy, the PC agency. Good to talk to you again, Paul. So another day of delays, reports sleeping in their cars, spending hours and hours in these queues. What has gone wrong?
Yes, it's very sad for those who are caught up by these hours of delays. And as I think we spoke about yesterday, Robin, I did warn it was going to get worse. It's getting worse because the French customs and security officers are making sure they are checking each and every passport for everybody in the car. Since Brexit, of course, UK holidaymakers have had to show their passport to border officials because it has to be stamped to prove when they entered Europe. And now Dover effectively is a border, and the French are enforcing their border and checking each and every passport to make sure that they can stamp it and that it's bona fide.
And this is something that's affecting holidaymakers, of course, but also businesses that need to transport their goods across the English Channel.
We've seen substantial delays and hold-ups for truckers, for those who are carrying goods through Dover. Dover itself is the busiest port in the UK. Typically, there would be some 15 million people passing through each year. And just today alone, there are 10,000 cars going across the channel from Dover itself. It more than beats most other ports in the UK. The next busiest is around 2 million people a year passing through. So Harwich, Portsmouth, they're much smaller ports, and it just goes to show how important Dover is to the UK economy. So when there are hold-ups like this, it does affect not just holidaymakers, but also freight and cargo passing through the port as well.
So the UK government has blamed France, but France and the head of the port of Dover say that Brexit is to blame for all this. Should they have been better prepared?
Well, Brexit really is to blame. This is the first year when holidaymakers en masse, post-COVID, are having to show their passports, which they didn't have to do pre-pandemic or pre-Brexit, of course. So that's leading to delays, because every time you show a passport, it takes about 45 seconds to a minute to process, with officers having to look through back pages and stamp it effectively. That didn't happen before. So, yes, Brexit is to blame for these delays. When 10,000 cars are passing through, it's going to lead to hours of delays, and that's what you're seeing, and it will continue for some time.
So if you were someone who had a ticket to travel today out of the port of Dover, would you be turning up, or do you think people should stay away for now?
Well, it's the same at airports, at our seaports, at rail terminals. You should always turn up as planned for the ticket you've booked, because it could be that things change at short notice and your ferry or your plane does, in fact, take off on time. But I have to say, the nerves are being tested of many holidaymakers across the UK at the moment because of the infrastructure problems we're seeing, not just at our ferry ports, but also with strikes on our national railways due this Wednesday with a 24-hour strike, and, of course, the problems at UK airports, especially Heathrow and Gatwick. Although I'm pleased to say today, certainly, Heathrow and Gatwick are functioning much more like normal.
And this, of course, a weekend where a lot of people in the UK head off on holiday. It's the beginning of the school summer holidays here. Are people better off trying other modes of transport rather than getting the ferry or the Eurotunnel across the Channel?
There's no easy way of getting out of the UK at the moment, and as Brexit has shown, you're having to show more paperwork, as it were, to get out of the country. But it's the sheer volume of people who are travelling that's causing many of these delays as well. And if you choose to travel in the busiest week of the year, once schools have broken up, then I'm afraid you will face delays, as you would have done in previous years pre-COVID. I'm afraid you just have to stick with it and have patience, carry a lot of water, and in most cases, you will get away on time.
Paul Charles from the PC agency, great to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us today.